Whatever Buddy Wednesday is back, and that means you're here for another episode of the Whatever Buddy podcast. This week, we find out if Jonny would be eaten by his beloved pet pussycats, and then we're going to Sweden. We will be joined by the one and only Martin Nilsson, tour manager, production manager, stage manager, and manager extraordinaire. If it needs to be managed, he's your guy. That's right, hanging on a glacier, go fuck yourself. So let's not waste any more time. Grab some meatballs, the Swedish kind. So with no further ado, Ryan and Jonny. Hey. Oh. Hey. Oh. All right, we're on.
Hey, when you do that, as long as all your stuff's on, your track has like spike. So I'm like, oh, sweet.
Yeah, totally. All my shit's on. And I start my video first. Let's do this.
Oh, we were.
Oh, I didn't realize, but that was nice. Well, first, should we welcome everybody back? Hello and welcome back again.
Hello.
To the Whatever Buddy podcast. Another day, another dollar.
At this point, I'm getting used to you just forgetting to say hello.
Well, no, but I try to say hello. But you know what, Ryan Harris? I got to ask something. I'm a little, on the fence about something. I don't know if I should be butthurt. That's the big question. Should I be butthurt? Now, the reason I ask this is because of this. I have a cat, Bima. She's the best. She's a Savannah cat, right? She loves on me. But I finally realized that the only reason she loves on me because prior to the pandemic, she hated me. It took her 15 months being locked in the house with me to love me, okay? But she learned how to pull my strings. God bless her. Now, with that being said, this is where I wonder if I'm butthurt. She'll give me all of the love in the world. She'll love on me so much. But the catch is, she only does that because I give her freeze-fried duck. Freeze-fried duck. Now, I realize it really upsets me that I'm like, this cat would not love on me if I wasn't the drug dealer. Because the freeze-fried duck is turned into like drugs for this lady.
Well, or food, yeah.
No, it's not food. It's like eating junk food all the time.
Oh, duck is for cats. Candy for
like
she's
starting to gain weight. She's starting to, it's starting to see in her face. I give her too much fucking duck.
You shouldn't be butthurt because it's your pet and now your pet likes you. But the reality is
I had to pay the pet off to like me.
Yeah, and the reality of why is because that pet
Have you ever looked at this nose? Wouldn't you just love me because of this nose in itself?
Jonny the Interrupter. The reality of why is because that pet was locked in the house and had no other option for food but to chum up to you because then he knew that he wasn't going to go hungry.
And your point is what?
Well, my point is that if that cat was bigger, you would have been the food. But since that cat's not big enough to eat you, he had to make nice so that you would feed him.
What are you talking about, clown boy? Come on now.
I'm just saying, dude, if your two cats, if your beloved Juji was 100 pounds bigger, he doesn't need you to give him lunch because you're lunch. If your beloved Juji gets on some kind of program, jacks all the steroids, gains, say, I'll give it 80 to 100 pounds. For sure 100 pounds. But if that cat gained 80 pounds and you turned your back on him, doesn't need the fried duck. It's got you.
I see what you're saying.
So you agree with me?
Saying. No, not at all. Juji is a different story. Bima, maybe. She's a wild cat. She might eat my face. I wouldn't be surprised if she could bypass me and get to the duck, she would. Juji, on the other hand, dude, I think I sent you a picture of Juji. You should share the picture with the people because the reality of it is look at the love between the two of us. You said it best. He'd be me if he was a human and I'd be him if I was a cat. Yeah?
So this would be Juji.
He's a hell of a kid. Look at him. Look how cute. Look at those green eyeballs.
This is the cat I was referring to earlier when I said that if you were to swap souls, I think that you're the human version of that cat, and that cat's probably the feline version of our very own Jonny U.
I think it says it all in the face. You can see it.
Does Juji call you Doc Brown?
No, he just calls me Doc.
When this picture was taken, was it during a storm and you were both going, a bolt of lightning?
That's funny. Actually, you know what that is? That's him climbing on, this is going to sound crazy, but it's him climbing on the screen door at my apartment. I always think it's great when he climbs on the screen door. For whatever reason, it makes me feel like a skateboarder on a half pipe because he goes really fast up and then just turns around and comes really fast back down. And I think it's the cutest thing because it never fails. I always think he's a skateboarder.
Cats are so athletic, dude.
Yeah.
It's crazy how athletic cats are.
He would be a running back in the NFL if he could.
I don't know which one it is, but like jumps on your back and like over the...
Oh, that's Bima.
No, okay, the other one. All right, so I get him confused.
Hey, do you have that? Do you have the proof I've showed you of Bima jumping on my back, as you mentioned?
Yeah.
For those who don't know, when Ryan and I were preparing to do this podcast, we took a lot of time to just talk because Ryan and I really had no idea what the hell we were doing. So we sat around for literally like 3 or 4 months.
Let's make us sound a little bit better than that. We were talking about your cats, not our lack of knowledge.
Well, no, yeah, but we're talking about how we were doing that and the cat would just jump on my shoulders. That's
how I knew that it happened.
Yeah, it's a true fucking story. Reality of it is, we would practice every day for hours. And we would sit there, and every now and again, you would just see a cat come through the frame. Shoulder to windowsill to shoulder to bed.
But also, this one, of the two, this one 100% is going to... This one, if it gains 20 pounds, is going to eat you. This cat doesn't even need to get on steroids. This cat just needs to gain a little weight.
Well, look at that face right there. Look at her looking at me right there. I wanted to set up for the people the documentation of what I did here. First, I'm going to show you what she does to me, and then I'm going to show you how much of a wuss I become in the end. Please, Ryan Harris, show the people. What's going on?
Oh, the cat's marking his territory. The cat's saying, this is mine. Jonny the cat is letting the other cat know, this is mine.
Yeah.
I get to eat this.
Mm-hmm.
This is my bush. This is my tree.
Okay,
like
so
when a dog
look, she just
lifts its leg.
Mm-hmm. She just buttered me up. All the kisses to the face while she's marking the territory. Now show the end result of what happens with the butter up.
I could see that cat eating you and you not being mad about it.
No, it's Bimo. How can I get mad at her?
How can I get mad at you? I can carry on with one leg. I can carry on with half an ass.
And in all reality, I don't really have an ass anyway. So if you ate my ass, you'd have to find it. And B, what am I losing out on? It's all bone anyway.
It'd still be hungry.
I'm what you call grandpa ass. Hey, Jonny, grandpa ass, Udell.
Yo, grandpa ass, I'm still hungry. Yo, grandpa ass, use the half ass that I let you keep. Go get me some of that duck.
Yeah. Well, you know what's even funnier? Is that like when it's all said and done and she eats my leg and she eats my ass just to fucking put a little insult to injury, she takes a piss on me. Marks her territory for good.
Of course.
Keep the coyotes away.
Because she's going to go about her day and leave the rest of you for later, and she doesn't want anybody else coming along.
Exactly.
I'll show. Hey, I at this point I completely forget what the other video is, but I'll share it now. You can.
The other video. Well, now let me reel you back in, Ryan Harris, Mr. Space Cadet. The other video is the end result of her buttering me up. This is what happens afterwards.
So this is after she just jumped off of your shoulders.
Yeah. Just giving me all that love. This is what she was doing it for. And I fell for it, hook, line, and sinker.
Oh, food.
No, treats. We've come full circle. This is why I feel butthurt, because she only gives me that love to get that bag of treats.
What you're saying about the past 15 months of not liking you and now she likes you, it's like the cat is just tugging your strings, buddy.
Yeah, and in the end, when it comes down to it, it's a double. These videos make 2 points. They make my point of being a softie for the cat, and it makes your point that I'm going to be soft skin to eat for the cat.
Yeah.
Make sense?
Yeah.
All right, Ryan Harris, let's move on. Thank you for listening to my rant today. I love you all, everybody. Thank you. I'm out of here. Bye. I'll tell you, I have something else that's bothering me and pissing me off, Harris. What's up with The Bachelorette? Have you seen this new article about anti-masturbation at The Bachelorette? I saw this title, this article. Please, in God's name, explain what the hell is going on here, Mr. Bachelor himself, Ryan motherfucking Harris.
So Jonny brings this to my attention. I didn't read this article. I'm going to do my best to speak some Bachelor to him and make sense of whatever headline he brought to my attention.
Let me read this for the people. Katie Thurston forbids Bachelorette contestants from masturbating. Who's Katie Thurston?
She's the current Bachelorette. She was on the last season of The Bachelor. She didn't win. She was chosen to be this current Bachelorette. She's self-proclaimed very sex positive. She introduced herself to The Bachelor when she was on The Bachelor. She brought a dildo with her, you know? And they blacked it out. They had like the censor bar over it, but the censor bar was still like, you know. So, what's she for? I didn't read this. I'll just give it a skim, okay?
Okay.
Challenging contestants to keep their hands out of their pants.
Why does she have the right to call any of these rules anyway? She lost.
I feel like this is clickbaity. This article is just using the words to make you click on it. I don't know. It's my thought.
And the dudes aren't allowed to rub one out?
Well.
And who's gonna be the person
policing that? My guess would be nobody. Once the ladies figure out that Thurston wants the men to stop, all three erupt in laughter. I cannot wait to see the boys and give them a little look. Make it a little hard for them. Make it very hard for them. Oh, they're just being just catty.
No, they're doing what they want to do. They want to fucking torture the men. They just want the men to fall all over them.
Look, don't think for a second this show's not scripted.
You can't play both sides of the fence with this one.
They're joking.
And I feel like that they're joking on television. Whether it's a joke or not, it's on television. I think it's ridiculous that these people expose themselves this way. Yeah, great, it's entertainment, I get it. But what does it say about them as a human, right?
Yeah, it's tough.
Then they sit there. What's that?
It's tough. I wouldn't want myself to be the person with that headline.
It's all stupid, man. Like, I don't understand why these people do it. What is it? What do you need? 15 minutes of fame? Like, is that why they do it? Like, you're exposing yourself in the worst light.
It's scripted, and they're using a clickbait title to make you read the article, which is going to make you then go watch the show. And that
Good
chick
publicist.
doesn't care what those dudes do. Maybe that's her way of making them more into her, less about being into the show.
More into her and less about the show. Is it more into her because they're just thinking with their wrong head?
She's on that show because she's trying to find love. And she's concerned. She's concerned that they're on the show because they just want to be on TV.
I call bullshit, except for the part that they just want to be on TV. So does she. Or she wouldn't be doing this. You can find love on what, Bumble? Is that an app? Or OkCupid or one of those? Okay,
yeah,
you go find love there. You got to put yourself out in front of the TV.
Have you seen the show? Everybody's good looking.
That's what I'm saying.
Have you been on dating apps? Not everybody is.
Well, it's been quite a while since I've been on a dating app.
Yeah. Well, you're not missing much. No, but I think that headline is just clickbaity to get you to read the article, and then that gets you to watch the show.
But you're not explaining to me any of this, Ryan Harris.
We're talking about
to get yourself out of this. No. You're not explaining. You're just explaining it's clickbait. That's great clickbait. What does all this bait of click mean? You know, it's like, what the fuck does that article mean?
It means we would like you to watch the show, and this is our best attempt at getting your attention.
It worked for you, huh? You watched
worked for you.
I don't. Hey, listen, I've never watched an episode. You've seen all the Bachelors. Now are you on to Bachelorette? Are you on Bachelorette Nation too?
Oh yeah, I'm watching the current season.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, Ryan Harris, you guys fill in the blank.
Be here all day.
He's here all day. With that being said, today we have a great guest. If you guys don't know, it's Martin Nilsson. That's Nilsson. I think I spelled it right. And he's from Sweden. He's a hell of a guy. He's a tour manager. He is a manager. He is a production manager. He owns his own festivals. This guy's got a lot going on. And Ryan and the Harris and I have a lot of questions to ask him. So why don't you sit back and chill out? In the meantime, I got to go pee. And when we get back, Martin Nilsson will be here with us.
Martin Nilsson.
Martin.
I call him Smartin.
It's because he's smart. Yo, Ryan, in the distance, I see Sweden. Sweden's over there. Paddle faster. There's glaciers. We gotta dodge the glaciers. Ladies and gentlemen, Martin Nilsson.
So,
are we on time today?
Oh, dude, we're on time. Dude, we're a minute early. We're a minute early.
Hey, Martin
buddy.
Nilsson.
Hey, man. How you guys doing?
Great.
I'm
We're
good,
doing great.
man. It's good to
Everybody,
see
just
you.
so
Miss you.
everybody knows, I love this guy. I miss him. I see his face quite frequently, but I haven't seen it in a week, so I'm happy. Let me just do a quick introduction for everybody here. Everybody, this is Martin Nilsson. Martin Nilsson and I go back quite a while now, actually. I met Martin when he was 19 years old in 2006, when the Knives were on tour with CKY and we were playing Stockholm, Sweden. Now, here's where the confusion comes in. I'm not sure if I met Martin before the show outside or inside the show after we played at the merch table. Maybe Martin can shed some light on that for me.
From what I can remember, I think we met outside before the show. I think you and Matt went out to have a cigarette, and we were all hanging out, waiting outside to get in.
Here's my interjection. You guys have this small world story. We talk all the time how the network of musicians and people that work in music, it always comes back together, always comes around somehow down the road. So talk about all this small world stuff and how you guys got to know each other better.
Well, first, let me go back and say that I do remember meeting you outside. I remember in front of a glass door. It was a weird place. I've never seen that venue for the amount of times I've been to Stockholm since. I don't even know where the fuck that place is. But after we met there, and Martin at the time was the head of the CKY Alliance, which was their fan club of Sweden, if I'm correct. Mm-hmm. So we met Martin then. And then fast forward 2 years, we were in LA and we were playing the Key Club, if I'm correct. And I had not seen Martin since, but I remember crossing over Sunset Boulevard at Larrabee, where the Viper Room is. And halfway in the middle of this intersection on the crosswalk, I'm walking one way, Martin's walking the other way. And he's like, yo, man, Jonny, what's going on? And like he was in town visiting his friend who was going to Musicians Institute, if I'm correct. And
yes.
Ended up coming to the Knives show at the Key Club. There's a small world story. I'll let you go.
I love that
there,
stuff.
Martin.
Yeah, it was crazy because, as you said, we hadn't talked in years, and I don't think it was a day of the show, but I think it was like a day or
the day
two
before
the show.
Right?
Yeah, something like that. And then you're like, yeah, we're having a show tomorrow. You should come over. Like, yeah, totally. So, and I love the Knives. So this was 2008, so it was like way before social media and whatnot. So marketing of shows over social media was not what it is today. So, I had no idea you guys were playing. Otherwise, I probably would have looked it up myself. But it was just, a whole different era of music promotion back those days.
Another small world story, Martin. This is where it gets really cool, because another thing for people to know is that Martin and I have a company together called To All of You, which is like a management company. It's also a road touring operation. And so before we got into that, around 2011, 3 years after I run into him in the crosswalk, out of nowhere, I get an email from Martin that says, hey, man, I was checking out Warner Drive and I think it's really cool. If you guys want to come over and do any shows, let me know. I was like, that's awesome, man. Great to hear from you. I'll let you know. Well, lo and behold, less than a week later, I lock up our first festival in Europe at Dithmarschen Rock Festival. And I hit
Germany.
Martin back up in Germany. Mm-hmm. And I hit Martin up like a couple of days after he emailed me. That's like, yo, man, this is going to be crazy and all, but I just booked a gig in Germany. Let's go ahead and do some shows. So that was another small world, like random. He emails me and then it just happens.
So what was going through your mind, Martin, at that time where you're like, I'm going to hit up Jonny?
Like at the time, I was running like a club with Dennis and Andreas and the Sticky Dirt guys. And for a time, we were like doing 3 nights a week, clubbing and Friday, Saturday with rock theme. And then we were doing like quizzes and acoustic shows on Wednesdays. And we were going down a little bit. We didn't have as much to do. We didn't have as much visitors. It was like, at the time, it was like, what can we do that is like bigger than just here? And like, I have had some brief contact with Jonny over the years, so we kind of maybe staying in touch like once a year or something. So it's not like very frequent. And I was like, okay, this band is really cool. And yeah, I think we could do something with that.
To have that happen within a week's time, and then the crosswalk thing and all that, it's just like you guys are destined to get married.
We're brothers from another mother, and I love his parents very much so.
You guys have 2LV management, so how did you go from randomly crossing paths in an LA crosswalk to being in business with each other?
I think it just evolved naturally. I think like with just going on tour with you guys, we want to drive, and then me being more and more involved in the management parts, helping out with booking, helping out with whatever I could, and then it's just gradually evolved to like us just like, hey, let's just make it official. Let's do this together, and just you're always stronger with working with someone else, especially if you have the same visions and the same goals. It's always better to help each other and pull each other forward.
Amen to that. Let me follow up and add that we probably were working together for 5 years before we ever really we're like, so are we going to do this?
Yeah.
We were just doing it forever, and they were like, well, okay.
Yeah. The company has been around ever since we did that club in Lund, and that's what we registered it. But we have like the people who have been involved in the company, who's been active in the company, has changed over the years.
If anybody wants to check it out, toallofyou.com. And if you had to describe what the company does per se, how would you describe it?
That's a lot of things. Like we do some booking. We work with bands. I do production management. We do like the straight up management and tour management, and pretty diverse with anything within the business side of and
also van and gear rental for bands on the road in Europe.
Absolutely.
There's also that. Okay, so let me ask you, you started Rock Stage at the Malmo Festival. How did that come to be?
I didn't start it. So what I was a part of starting Malmo Rock Festival. So Rock Stage was around with Mikko and the guys started Rock Stage, and then I joined up the first year.
How did you end up booking? Like you're the booker for that now.
Yeah. I volunteered as the stagehand, and then we just got along really well. They at the time I was working with Warner Drive. I was doing booking and whatnot, and we just hit it off really well. Working wise together, so they just asked me to do more and more, and then since I was doing other booking, they asked me to do the booking for the festival. So first year I was just volunteering as a stagehand. The second year me and Mikko helped out and did half of the booking each kind of for the second year.
So to clear up any confusion, there was Rock Stage at Malmo Festival, and then Malmo Rock Festival, which are two different things. And Malmo Rock Festival is your own festival that you started with Dennis, am I correct? You started that with Dennis?
No, that is also Rock Stage. So it's just a different parts. The Rock Stage is like a non-profit organization, and then we do different projects within that umbrella of Rock Stage.
And what is the difference between the two?
Rock Stage is a part of the Malmo Festival, which is a 8-day free festival. So it's one of the largest in Northern Europe. It's got over 8 days. I think it's like 1.3 million visitors. But Malmo Rock Festival is we had like 1,300 visitors the first year or something like that when we did that. And then of course then the pandemic came when we were going to do the second year. So we were going to fighting that a little bit because it's always tough to start something up, and then when you start it up, then the pandemic comes along with
making you take a pause on it. It's like super unfortunate.
Yeah, exactly.
Are there plans to have it next year?
Yeah.
Great.
Let me know if you need my talents.
Yeah. I always need your talent, Ryan. You know that.
Thanks, buddy.
So Roasting House also has a label called Dead End Exit. Roasting House is a label, production house. They do all sorts of stuff there. Recording studios, they have like 13 recording studios on the grounds or some shit like that. And under the Roasting House umbrella, they have Dead End Exit Records, which is their rock album label. Now, you were responsible for getting Warner Drive a record deal with Dead End Exit. How did that come to be?
At the time, I was sitting at Roasting House, so they offered me an office space to just sit there and do my whatever I do with tour management and booking. And it's always nice to sit in a creative environment with other people
That
within the
place
same
is awesome.
business. Yeah, it's a really cool spot. And then they knew what I was doing with them. They saw like the progress that we were making with Wanna Drive and all the tours, and everything was growing. We got some good shows. We got good following in some spaces, and they just saw that there was some potential there. So I was constantly, of course, I was talking about it out of my work perspective. And then in the end, when you guys were looking for a new label, I would just figure like, hey, why not do it here? Well,
that was a great day. I remember we played Sweden Rock Festival 2016, and backstage at Sweden Rock, we signed that deal.
Yeah.
So you production manage. With being a production manager at Malmo Live, which is a venue, versus Helge Festival, which is a festival, or Malmo Festival.
Yeah.
Which one, what's the difference, and what do you prefer?
I like them both for different reasons. It's like to just get everybody a clear picture of what the difference is. One is like headliners like Europe, Wasp, whatever else. So we had Hammerfall, we have had DAD and all these bands. And at Malmo Live, I worked with everything from St. Petersburg Ballet to the world champions in breakdance to stand-up comedians to rock bands to it was just such a wide variety, and like I always love to learn new stuff. So it's for me like the Malmo Live was really rewarding because it was like it's developing your skills so much. You learn so much more. I had no idea about rolling out dance carpets for ballets before, or like
well, that leads me to this question, which I had no idea that it was not on my paper. This is like frickin' pulling this one out of my ass. Which is, so who's more difficult, a rock band, a break dancer, or a ballet dancer? Who's the biggest rock star out of those three?
Yeah, like the ballets that I work with was not, it wasn't traveling ones. It was not the ones who's stationed at a very fancy ballet. So they were just happy to do whatever they did, and they were just happy if they had access to a laundry machine. So they were
right, so
not so.
We eliminate ballet dancers. Now we're down to break dancers and rock bands. Who's the worst?
The breakdance thing I did was pretty cool. It was like, because Malmo Live is the home of the Malmo Symphony Orchestra also. So it was this thing where they had one woman playing a piano and one woman playing, I think the cembalo is the Swedish name for it. It's like this old school piano kind of thing. I don't know exactly what it is. And then they had these world.
Sorry.
Yeah, I know where you're going with this. He just answered the question without saying rock bands are the worst to work with. You gave him the options, and by saying nothing but good things about everyone, you said, who's the worst? And he said, well, these people are wonderful. Okay, well, of the people left, well, this was what was really great about this. And it's like, by process of elimination, rock bands are the hardest to work with.
Okay, Martin. So we like to play games here on the What Everybody podcast.
Dude, you're being so arrogant right now. You're like leaning back and you're like, I have preparation papers and this is what we like to do.
This is what we like to do. I prepared for Martin. This is Martin.
We know Martin.
Martin, God bless Martin. He's worked with us through this from the beginning. Martin used to come on and help us when we were trying to figure out our shit. He'd come and hang out with us, talk to us, and tell us how much
before we were professionals.
Yeah. We still suck, but at least we don't suck as bad, as they would say in Germany. You don't suck so bad. What was that Ryan Harris that happened? What was that story?
I'm being the interrupter right now. Why don't you continue with what you were about to say?
Who, me?
No, I said I'm being the interrupter right now, so why don't you continue with what you were about to say?
Who are you talking to?
You.
Me? Oh. Okay, I'm out of here. Ryan's been doing yoga all morning, that hippie. He's been a hippie all day today.
Yeah, and it's all ruined already.
Yeah. I'm gonna have to go re-yoga.
Get your finger out of my ass. So, Martin, we're gonna throw a series of questions at you. You got to say the first thing that comes to your mind, and I'm going to start. Okay. On the road, Ryan Harris versus Jonny Yu. Go.
Don't be nice. We both like you.
Yeah.
For now.
Both take time in the bathroom, but for whole different reasons.
That's a very good answer.
That is a good answer. I'd love to know the reasons.
All right, Martin. One of my genuine favorite places to come visit is Lund. It's a town that you used to live in Sweden. It's a cool little college town. Correct me if I'm wrong at any point along the way, but before I had gone to Europe, it was, in my mind, the closest thing that I envisioned Europe looking like. Cobblestone streets, nice old architecture, all that stuff. You recently moved from Lund to the Swedish countryside.
Something like that.
So my point is living in Lund versus living in the Swedish countryside. Go.
It's we still work in the city, so we go to the city every day. So it's just coming home to your own space. It's like so much. We have a lot more land and just more peace and quiet from the traffic. We still work in the city, so it's like you have all the daily stuff with stores and whatnot. But it's like for me, what I miss is like bars and restaurants and whatnot.
Martin, can I take public transportation from your new place to the center of town?
You have to walk 1 kilometer, and then there's a bus that takes you to Lund.
Perfect.
And
1 kilometer is nothing.
Yeah. It goes like at least 3 times a day, that bus.
I love the metric system. It just makes things sound more adventurous. Like if you were like, you got to walk a mile to the thing, you'd be like, oh, I don't want to do that. But when Martin's like, you have to walk some kilometers, you're like, that sounds like an adventure.
Well, a kilometer's shorter than a mile.
Yeah.
So a kilometer's nothing. I walk a mile to the bar all the time. Yeah. What is the last bus out of town back to your place?
I think 10.
Fucking that's a problem. Dude. Ryan, we're going to have to start early. We're
sleeping in the woods,
Paulson. We're going to be like Magnus Paulson. No, dude, we're going to be at the Irish place, fucking O'Leary's. We're going to be at O'Leary's by 5 o'clock, getting on that bus by 9:30, making it back. If we get lost, we get lost.
You're a dreamer living in the real world, buddy. It's not going to happen. We're going to be sleeping in the woods.
All right, on to the game. On with
the game.
Martin, the next question. Sweden Rock Festival, one of the biggest rock festivals in Northern Europe. Would you rather camp and party or work on the production staff? Go.
At this age, definitely work. I used to party a lot, but with age, it's not good for me.
Just to set the stage, this is a festival that has a campground. People show up on Wednesday and they camp out, go to shows, sleep, camp out, go to shows, sleep, party.
Some people Sunday. Show up some people even show up. When I was younger, we used to show up, like the festival started Thursday and we showed up like Monday or Sunday before. So you could drink for 4 days before even festival started, because then you don't miss out as much.
We show up and drink for 4 days before we drink for 4 days.
so let me ask you. I have this weird fascination with people's sweaty genitalia. So my question to you is, if you're there on Sunday, the festival doesn't start till Thursday. The festival's not over till Sunday. You probably stay to the day after. So therefore, you're now there 8 days. Do you shower, or are you carrying around that sweaty genitalia for 8 fucking days?
I used to try and shower at least 2 times in 8 days.
Oh, see, you were carrying. You answered that you're carrying it around the entire time.
No, 2 times in 8 days, Harris. That's
fine. Not enough.
No. You're the guy who showers 3 times in a day. Asking you this question's nonsense.
Now we go back to the story, like who's taking most time in the shower, only in the bathroom, and then it's like now we know the difference here.
Yeah, I take a long time showering because I don't want Jonny to think that I have sweaty balls.
Exactly. So today I wouldn't go that long without showering. I would probably shower, at least go to the ocean and to take a swim every second day at least, and not go like.
So how do you shower at Sweden Rock? Like how
they have showers.
What they do?
They have showers, cold showers.
Probably get an STD just from standing in that fucking thing.
Dude, yeah, it's just
that would
like
be cold.
Construction pallets and then just cold water coming out of hoses. It's no heating, nothing. It's just.
You're just smushing the smell around. You're not washing it off.
Yeah.
Go to the ocean, man, so you can at least get the salt to fucking get the grind.
Yeah, get in there.
How far is the ocean? I never noticed we were close to an ocean when we were
there. It's 5-10 minutes walk.
Fucking for real? How come we never went to the ocean, Harris?
I don't know. I didn't know it was
Long
there.
walks on the beach.
This is on the east coast of Sweden, so it's a Baltic.
So it's a Baltic Sea, right?
Yeah.
Interesting. Is the Baltic Sea an ocean or
it's an ocean.
It's a sea.
Why do they call it a sea, though? Like, why not the ocean?
It's a
why not
sea.
the Pacific Ocean, Atlantic Ocean? I get it, asshole, but listen. You got the Atlantic Ocean, you got the Indian Ocean, you got the Pacific Ocean,
Yeah.
now you got the Baltic Sea. How come it's sea and not ocean?
There's a difference of how much mass of open water there is.
I got this one.
Look at he actually had a fucking answer for that.
Martin, I got this one. Okay, so you have let's say you have an apartment, okay?
Okay.
And then you have a condo. And then you have a townhouse. And then you have a house. And then you have a mansion. And then you have a castle.
Okay.
They're not all the same thing. You live in all of them, but they're all different things. So you have different sources of water. You have a river.
Or bigger than an ocean?
Yeah, it's smaller. It's why it's a sea and not an ocean.
Well, who says the sea's smaller than an ocean? An ocean doesn't have to be big. I mean, what the fuck?
How come you call that a stream and not the Amazon River? Because it's smaller.
Well, that doesn't make any sense. I mean, just because it's called a stream doesn't mean it has to be smaller. What if the Atlantic Ocean was the Atlantic Stream? I mean, it's just a fucking word. I'm the word man. Don't you know this?
I know. And it continues, this podcast continues to be an educational journey with you.
Right.
I try not to act like a know-it-all. I don't want to be a know-it-all. You make it so easy.
Well, when you don't know anything, it's easy to make the guy next to you look good. Doesn't make you
I'll give
smart.
you credit for this. If I didn't know the answer to that, I would have just sat here and be like, all right, cool. In the back of my head, I'm thinking, I'll look it up later.
No such thing as a stupid question. I beg to differ with that. But
I've asked a
that's
few.
what they say.
Martin, I got the question of the day. Okay. Last podcast, I introduced...
No need to say it. You introduced him last podcast. Don't need to do it again.
All right. Van Dobben Bitterball and my European alias. And some people don't like him. I was wondering, do you like Van Dobben or do you like Ryan better?
I've seen it so many times. I love that part of it because it's a part of Ryan. It's like his mini me version, kind of being on tour.
That's exactly what it is.
I think it's
my mini me.
It's kind of I think it's like just I would say I would like Ryan more, but Bitterballin just always cracks me up no matter what.
I love Bitterballin. I think I like Bitterballin better than Ryan.
Why is that? Why do you say that?
Why do I say that? Because he's just cooler.
Yeah.
Cooler. He's a cooler dude. I mean, come on, think about it. Like Van Dobben Bitterballin, great name. Ryan Harris. Come on. I mean, like right there.
Oh, you're going to offend my mom.
Well, that's your mom. She should have called you Van Dobben Bitterball, and I wouldn't offend her. Hi, Mrs.
Mama Harris. Why wasn't it Van Dobben Bitterball and
Bring
Harris?
you up with an accent.
Yeah.
Why didn't you raise him with an accent?
Why didn't you raise him in the Netherlands? That's where Bitterballen's from.
Yeah.
He's from Amsterdam. The guy was grown in the red light district. He was a baby child, homeless on the streets with a little panhandle, and the girls in the red light district used to give him little coins to get him through the day. Then it became euros, and they gave him little euro coins, right?
He'd
and then
walk
one day
around
he got
like
lucky.
this.
Yeah. One day, one of those girls, they gave you a €5 bill, and you were like, "Oh my god,
That's a lot
and
of
that's
money.
when you went out. Yeah. You went out, and instead of like using that money for food, you went out and somehow finagled a chain that said Bitterballin.
I bought two things. I bought milk and I bought the prostitute.
Yeah.
I paid for milk and then I paid to pee.
Anyway, with that being said, I think we got to the bottom of all this. Thank you, Bitterballin. You can go back to your cage now, wherever that may be. Just kidding.
Go back to your lair.
I love it. I love Bitterballin. But hey, Martin, thank you so much for joining us, brother. This has been a hell of a treat for us. I hope that our listeners that have enjoyed learning about Martin and from I think one of the best countries in the whole entire world, in Sweden. And I'm going to see him soon. I'm going to see him in August, hopefully, when we go over to the UK with the Mercury Riots.
Yeah, I hope so.
Yeah,
I'm going to come with you and just help Martin tour manage.
Do it. You'll probably quit when you have to deal with me.
No, but that's what Martin's for.
Oh. Yeah. You'll deal with Zach, the responsible one.
Yeah, I don't have a problem with those guys. Martin can deal with you.
Awesome.
I feel like I feel the need to apologize to you, Johnny.
Why do you have to apologize to me?
You're my buddy.
Apologize to me.
You're my buddy. I go hard at you sometimes.
Yeah, but I called you a guitar player as a pain in the ass about 10 minutes ago, so it's cool. And I also told you to go back to your cage, so whatever that means.
Maybe you need to apologize to me. Yeah.
I'm sorry, Ryan. I'm being a little rough on you today, huh? A little bit.
Tough
A little tiny bit. All right, I'm going to get out of here before I get my ass kicked by these two guys. Thank you, everybody, for listening to us ramble about breakdancing and about tour managing and about my cats and all that other good stuff. We will see you next week. Make sure if you haven't subscribed yet that you make sure you subscribe on all the platforms. And if you want to watch us, go look at us visually on the YouTubes. You know, youtubes.com, I guess is what they say. Oh, yeah. So until next week, we have a great guest next week. We'll tell you about that more as it gets closer. With that being said, we will see you all later and have a great day. Goodbye from the What Everybody podcast.
Thanks, Martin. Miss you, buddy. See you later.
Thank you. See you. Bye.